It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Streaming Wasteland here on the SPM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where I pick three streaming services and select one previously released film off of each of them. And hopefully by the end of this episode, as this releases on Friday, you have a whole weekend's worth of movies to go check out. Got a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Boom, bada boom, got some movies. And we're getting up there in our episodes as this is our 51st episode. And after our 52nd episode, which marks a whole entire year of doing this show, which is pretty exciting, I'm going to shake things up with a new structure where each week I pick one streaming service and three films off of that and rotate the streaming services. But this week, still doing how we did it before. And we're going to be focusing on Amazon, Paramount Plus, and Max. Soon to be HBO Max again, because dumb choices to change it in the first place. And let's get started with 1996's Mission Impossible. And I feel like obviously this is quite the relevant film to pick with Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, coming your way into theaters. And an American agent under false suspicion of disloyalty must discover and expose the real spy without the help of his organization. This is the IMF, the Impossible Mission Force, and it is Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, and he must go toe to toe with John Voight. You have Jean Reno, Ving Rhames, Kristen Scott Thomas, Vanessa Redgrave, Emilio Estevez, and plenty more who stand out in this film. And this is from director Brian De Palma, who really brings the De Palma into this film. And there's definitely moments where you can really feel his style sticking out, and it gives this film personality. I think the important thing to realize is this was a much more grounded film compared to where this franchise went. This is like the oddball out because this is a pretty gritty, grounded, intense, and visceral thriller. And Brian De Palma knows a thing or two about thrillers for sure, and he brings that energy to Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise might not be hanging off of planes and holding his breath underwater and submarines, but what he is doing is bringing personality, fire, intensity, and loyalty. And that's Ethan Hunt in a nutshell. And Tom Cruise really captures this character, brings the personality, brings the energy and the physicality that is expected out of this performance. And nobody can do it like Tom Cruise. John Voight comes in as a quite the significant presence here and probably one of his truly great last performances, as you know his career has been very different in the past 30 years. You throw in Emmanuel Biart, who plays Claire, into the fold. You have Henry Czerny, who plays Kittredge, who has come back in the most recent films. But you have Krieger, played by Jean Reno, Luther by Ving Rhames. Can't believe Luther was introduced all the way back in this first film. And just you see the dawn of this relationship between him and Ethan that grows so much over time. You have strong women like Kristen Scott Thomas and Vanessa Redgrave that are anchoring things down in their supporting roles. And this film sets up so much context to where this franchise is going to go. But as its own thing, it has the breaking into Langley sequence, which is so thrilling. You have the helicopter and train sequence at the end of this film that is intense, crazy stunts and practical effects. This is a film that launched one of the greatest action thriller franchises in the history of cinema. That's wild to think about. And Mission Impossible has a lot going for it in its own right. And this is a great place to start. You might not need to watch two, but three, four, five, six, seven, and now eight. They're all big winners. So go check out Mission Impossible. Heading over to Paramount Plus, we're going to get a little weird, a little Western, a little Johnny Depp playing a chameleon. And that is Rango. And this film is from director Gore Verbinski of The Ring and of the Pirates movies. Yes, that Gore Verbinski made this strange, weird looking Nickelodeon produced animated film that wound up winning Best Animated Feature. It has a script from John Logan, of all people, who has so many, has had such recognition of Skyfall and The Aviator and Sweeney Todd and some alien films that he wrote the screenplays for. The Aviator, Last Samurai, Gladiator, just so many great screenplays from John Logan. And he brings another great one here. This is an amalgamation of classic westerns and neo westerns and neo noir westerns, including Chinatown. You even have Ned Beatty's mayor, um, turtle who's very much Noah Cross. And it's wild how much of Chinatown is in this film. Johnny Depp is a revelation as Rango. He does such an amazing job in his quirkiness, his awkwardness, his weirdness, making such a perfectly unique and strange protagonist for us to follow on this journey with. And the animation is a little grotesque, it's a little grittier, but you have such great character designs. You have like all these redneck critters flying on bats. You have a rattlesnake voiced by Bill Nye, of all people, Davy Jones, and he is so good in this. You have so many great performances from Isla Fisher, Timothy Oliphant as the Spirit of the West, who's basically just Clint Eastwood. Abigail Breslin, like I mentioned, Ned Beatty and Bill Nighy. You have Alfred Molina, Stephen Root, Harry Dean Stanton, Ray Winstone, Gil Birmingham, and so many talented actors who bring their voices to this intriguing collection and ensemble of strange animal characters in the small western town. And this is a wild, weird western, all created in animation with a fantastic score from Hans Zimmer. You have Flight of the Valkyrie played on a banjo at one point. That's the vibe of this film. It's scary, it's intense, it's funny. It has all of these. It checks all the boxes. It's a weird fever dream from Gore Verbinski, and it's an absolute delight. But lastly, we're heading over to Max while it's still Max before it becomes HBO Max again, and we're going to take a look at one of Akira Kurosawa's greatest films, and one that has nothing to do with samurai or feudal Japan. This is a procedural cop drama, High and Low. An executive of a Yokohama shoe company becomes a victim of extortion when his chauffeur's son is kidnapped by mistaken and held for ransom. Like I mentioned, this is a Kurosawa film, which means that Toshiro Mifune is not far away as he is Kingo Gondo. And you have Tatsuya Nakaidai, uh, Yukaka Sada, and so many strong performers here. But you have Mifune right at the core of this. Takashi Shimura is here as the chief investigator, and this duo of Kurosawa collaborators and legends sell so much of this film. This is a 2 hour and 20 some odd minute film, but it's intense, it's enthralling, it's engrossing. It tells a wild story, twists and turns, for sure. Mifune gives such a powerful and emotional performance. He really sells it. And Shimura having a role in this as well, another legend of Japanese cinema. This film has great performances. It has a great story and a great mystery and layers and layers and layers and layers. And how this all comes together is so fascinating. It's engaging, it's enthralling. You're there on the edge of your seat. Will they figure this out? And of course they will. But part of the charm is going on the ride, enjoying it, and seeing what's all going on here. Because this is a complex and layered story. This isn't so simple as good and bad. It's not so simple as that. But this film is full of moral quandary and challenges and debates, and all while having this intense, perfectly directed film with Kurosawa, Mifune, Shimura, all stepping up, delivering, and making this film such a fascinating and enthralling story from start to finish, as we're never quite sure how it's all going to play out. And Kurosawa keeps you on the edge of your seat with this one for sure. Mifune really grabs you emotionally and brings you into this experience. And this is such an engaging, thrilling, and thought provoking story that is certainly one of Kurosawa's best, and arguably his best outside of feudal Japan. This is a film that works on so many different levels, and it's a classic for a reason. But that's a wrap on another episode of the Streaming Wasteland. Let's give you a little bit of a recap. We're heading back to the mid 90s, almost 30 years ago. Over on Amazon Prime Video, we have Mission Impossible. Heading back a little bit less, 14 years to 2011. And Paramount Plus has the Nickelodeon produced Academy Award winning feature for Best Animated Feature that is Rango. Great Western, weird Western, absolutely fantastic. And lastly, over on Max streaming service, all you can find all of the Kurosawa that you want. You have 1963's procedural top drama, High and Low. But thank you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What is your favorite Mission Impossible film in the franchise? What's your favorite strange animated film that's not Disney, it's not Pixar, it's not DreamWorks, that really sticks out to you and leaves an impact? And finally, what's your favorite Kurosawa film? Do you lean towards the more samurai kinds of elements, or are you more of that like modern kind of feel and context and can enjoy something like a High and Low? But make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. If you're interested in starting a podcast, please make sure to reach out to us on our website. Or if you want to be a guest on one of our own. Finally, if you like our logo, check out HiFlyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Streaming Wasteland here on the SPM Crew Podcasting Network.